All right, and welcome. This is Nick Marine presenting Let's Learn Japanese, a course series for self-study Japanese from basics and beginnings up there and hopefully advanced. If you like the Let's Learn Japanese project, and you like what I'm doing, like to support, you can become a patron of Patreon. So the links to that is down below. Also, if you like some tutoring services, usually it's going to be for technical assistance, get started, or some hiccup that's happening in midway through when you're changing what type of technical programs you're using. So in that case, also I do that via the Patreon, so the prices are listed in there as well. All right, awesome. This, as usual, is going to be a Let's Read Japanese. So I've been doing these for some, hundreds of videos like this. They're quite fun, quite enjoyable. So up above is the audio or the video, what I'll be reading along to. Off this side is going to be the script. It could be either text from the book, or in this case, it's going to be the text from the subtitle rips from the subtitles. So I read along with the audio. So it is reading. Just listening to what I read, kind of keep an eye on what's happening in the video, but for the most part it is reading. Read along as the audio plays, and if I come across a word that I don't know what it means, or I want to see a little bit more about it, I pause real quick and look up what the word is. Word, character, phrase, whatever happens to be, with a pop-up dictionary called Yomi-chan. Alright, so my usual video player of choice is, as you see above, is VLC. Sometimes I use Media Player Classic, MPC. There are some other video players going around, like Voracious, and I think Migaku has there's some others that definitely leverage the subtitles, and especially either the subtitles of one or multiple subtitles that a video can have, so multiple language subtitles. And again, they use that with some type of text analyzer, and then you can go and highlight individual words in the subtitles, and it'll pop up the definition either in your target language, your language, whatever. And you can actually export those. They've got them designed where you can export those into cards that usually you use that to import to Anki. So that's generally the flashcard app of choice when it comes to making. When you hear people making cards, they usually mean making it for Anki. Yeah, and so convenience is a big deal when it comes to that, and it's very useful. So again, that is reading. I like what I do because it's all the text is there, so I can kind of go back and reference a previous sentence. You can do that with Voracious, or we got just hit back and forward with the back and arrow, forward and back arrow keys. Again, it's just I kind of like it. It's like I am reading a book, so when I see stuff, I'm not like, the idea of seeing a wall of text doesn't scare me. I have no problem with that, and so it is good to get into the habit of that. Whereas sentence by sentence, which subtitles normally present to you, it's also fine. But I tend to skip more stuff I don't know. It's like, okay, especially if I'm watching subtitles just to watch shows, I'll let the sentences pass by. So it's just a slightly different experience. I do like it where it feels like I'm reading a book, if that makes sense. And so when you see the text off to the side like I have here, again, it is like, it's a very ugly formatted book, but it is, again, but again, I like the text large, so I can sit back from the screen and look at it. I can still read small text fine, but why struggle? Why strain when you don't have to? Yeah, and and I always recommend read the audio, especially starting off. Especially, I don't see the downsides, honestly. It's more fun. You're hearing somebody else's voice, so you are getting some listening practice. Although again, it's mainly is reading. Just understand it is reading. And with audio, you can pause anytime you read along, so you're kind of learning to read at a spoken pace, which is not a bad thing. You're hearing the way a native should. You're hearing the correct pronunciation, not having it pronounced wrong in your head. Especially if you miss, especially with Japanese, where you notice a word, you may pronounce it, based on your reasonable how it should be reasonably be pronounced, but it just happens to have a slightly different pronunciation, and the meaning is the same. The meaning you obviously let's say not obviously, when you're reading, then you might get the pronunciation, and also you might notice through context that he actually has a slightly different meaning. So that's the benefit of being willing to look up stuff with a pop-up dictionary, because it's quick. If I had to pause and look up something in a dictionary, like a physical dictionary, I probably wouldn't look up nearly as much. In fact, I hate looking up stuff in the dictionary, just because it really slows the flow down to a crawl. Whereas with the pop-up, it's quick, go on to the next. Now, what I've been doing recently is, and again, this isn't online, this is like with my wife, when we're watching videos, and I can't do this while dinner because obviously we're eating, and so I'm not going to be on the computer looking up stuff. But what's happening is I'll do something like this, like I'll actually create, off to the side, I'll create a text like this from the subtitles of the show that we're watching on TV, and if they're available. And I will read along as the show's going. Now, the subtitles are most likely showing on the TV screen. But, you know, if I come across a word I don't know, well, guess what? I'm gone. But what I can do is I read fast enough where, you know, if it's just happened to be one word I don't know, and then most of it I can catch up on through a quick read, I can just hover over it and see the context. It's like, oh, they're talking about finances or investment, or, oh, okay, this guy's defaulting on a loan. Okay, I'm saying that because I was watching Hanzao Naoki last night. It was good because it was the first episode of Hanzao Naoki was like 90 minutes long. So it's like I was basically reading economic conversations, economic and investment conversations for like 90 minutes last night. And that was on top of, I watched Kikin the Venus. So that was a family drama about, you know, inheritance, family inheritance drama. So that was about 40 minutes there. Plus I was watching Queen's Gambit with her. Now that one, I didn't do this because the text doesn't match up with the audio, and it really annoys the piss out of me. But you know, I need subtitles help me with the better, just because my reading is better than my listening. It just is. Sorry, can't help that part. Other than, you know, keep trying to bring my listening up to my reading level. But anyway, it's like yeah, if there's a mismatch between what's on the text and what's on the audio, that just annoys me. I just don't like doing that. So but I mean, there is a benefit to still doing this here. I did it with Teen Titans. It just that, I'll just probably make sure I'm not missing things. Usually, though, I'm noticing with the American shows that I'm seeing on Netflix, I could probably pick up enough through context, so that's fine. And I can always read a summary of it later, so that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. So for that one, I just, you know, so that Netflix or some other American movie, if we're watching it during dinner, I've got no problem because I'm not going to need to be at the computer to read and look at it while it's showing up on TV. And I'm pointing over there because that's my TV's right in front of me. So I'm at the table, laptop's here, kitchen's behind there, but you know, we're in the living room, and then the TV's right there behind the camera. In fact, it's on a Japanese daily news show. It's not a news show, it's like one of those daily shows. Yeah. All right, so I think I talked enough about that. It's just to have fun. So I'm saying, like, what I did last night was probably more than I've done in a long time, which is, you know, essentially like reading for like almost 3 hours. So I normally don't do that. And here's the thing, though. I mean, if I did do that daily, like if I was reading that much daily, I would be at a much better place. I mean, just, you know, again, my listening would be better, my reading would be better, my vocabulary would be better. You know, so most people who you see on YouTube that say about how they achieved fluency in a very reasonably short amount of time, let's say in 2 years is a reasonably short amount of time to get, you know, native level fluency in Japanese, especially if you're coming from, you know, something like as different as English. But yeah, if you were doing that, you know, 3-4 hours a day, that type of, you know, again, it's not intense when you think about it. But it is about the highest level of immersion you can really get into, where, again, you're trying to follow along. I'm following the story because I want to follow the story because it's a fun story. Like, and you know, I don't want to where my lack of knowledge of certain vocabulary takes me out of it, where now I'm not following along at all. So I want to make sure I'm like catching up enough. Now, I don't think you can do this at an N4 level. Like if you're only at around 2,000 words, that's going to get difficult. 4,000 words probably still going to be difficult outside of slice of life, you know, really slow level. But for higher level dramas, or, you know, where it's about more specialized aspects of life, you know, like professional settings, then you may want to be about the 6,000 or above range to try something like that, where you're reading along and without pausing. This is like not pausing. If you pause, you can actually do it with anything. It's just going to take you longer to get through. So it's up to you on that. But yeah, there is a you know, enjoying the flow of the show and enjoying it. And, you know, again, I explained to my wife that it's fun in that I feel like we can be watching a show together and enjoy the show together. And I'm not having to bother her asking about something. Because again, that's just not my personality. I don't like saying, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? It just, I don't know. It feels like I'm annoying them. It's a personal thing. I know. They probably don't care. Most people probably wouldn't care. But I'm sure also, though, if a person's being asked like dozens of times an hour, then it's going to be, it's going to start grating on them, too. Although I had to explain to my wife, this was last night. I was like, they're like in the middle of the conference room meeting. So a lot of usually high level conversation is going on. So I'm trying to like follow along with that. And then she's trying to have a conversation. It's like, I'm not able to multitask at that level yet. No. If it's like a slow conversation, yeah, that's easy. That's that. And I, you know, explained like, you know, when they were happened to be Hanzo and Naoki and his wife were at the dinner table, that part, yeah, no problem. They were very slow. You could follow along. In fact, I could probably follow along with the subtitles on the screen without much issue. Only problem would be like people's names at that level. Yeah. But anyway, so that was last night, and kind of what I'm saying. And I apologize, I'm going into the blog mode, and but part of it is like hopefully, you know, people hear this and it, you know, it's just a little bit of motivation that this can happen. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. You know, the process is simple. The amount of time is not. All right. And as long as it's, I've tried to do this with the Let's Learn Japanese project, is to simplify the process. You don't have to think about the hiragana, katakana, because here are the Anki decks, here's the videos, you know, and try to get in your head, and that's it. Don't worry about, like, oh, I know the hiragana, katakana. It's like people are going to brag about that, and then you realize, okay, hey, good on you. And you know, like, hey, there's a good brag because they're at the beginning, you know, and then good. Now but you always have something else to go to. So here's the hiragana, katakana. Here's the 1,000 words. Plus, you can read the Teikim grammar guide along with it. Here's 500 kanji. You know, and and you explain. It's like, hey, these are the most common kanji, and you know, you can even show them like, hey, here's some words, and show them two kanji together. And they because they know what each kanji means, and together in a word, they kind of know what that word means, and that's kind of a good positive feedback that what they're doing is going to work. You know, and then they get the vocabulary, and then once they're done with the M4, it starts to say, hey, look, you know, start actually consuming Japanese as it's meant to be consumed. You know, like watching a show with Japanese subtitles, or reading a book to audio. You know, start doing that. But just pause and look up stuff so you're following along with the story, and then that's a good feeling that what they're doing is working. You know, but so now you're going to say, hey, look, you're still going to study, but like half your study, whatever time you had for studying, half of it is going to go to reading with audio, and the other half is going to go with the normal active study that you've been doing. That's all. So it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the next, you know, every 1,000 words to learn. It might take you twice as many days, but you're going to get so much out of that active reading that you've been doing, that active immersion, that you're going to enjoy both now. And your vocabulary is going to keep increasing, and your reading ability and listening ability is going to keep increasing because you're using native material. You know, and then you can get into where you can say the active reading is like, hey, start adding, if you got more time, you know, if you either fill it with studying or active reading, just kind of like do half and half. And I think you'll find you're going to get you know, as you approach, let's say the 10,000 words, and or you've read like, you know, this 20, 30 or so, you know, 10 light novels or 20 light novels, or you've watched these series. As your series builds up that you've watched, you're noticing that what you comprehend is a greater and greater percentage, but you're not really able to put a percentage to what you comprehend. You just kind of like, did you enjoy the overall story? Good. Well, then that's where you're going for it. You know, were you tracking like how many words you know? No, probably you weren't. You know, maybe you were, maybe you weren't. Who knows? Who cares? But just, did you enjoy the story? Because that's mainly what we're trying to go for. It's like trying to increase the level of comprehension in the language. And then if we want to worry about output, that can be worked on, but that's a more specialized. You know, especially if you already got your comprehension to a higher level, output becomes easier because now you're not fighting vocabulary. You're fighting again just the particular way it's spoken, and a lot of that can be practiced where it's doing it at a minute of a time. All right, Adamus, why do you talk more in English than what? Well, again, this is part of this is a let's learn, so it's a group project and just talking. Part of it is talking. And usually it's usually about 10 minutes. I just kind of got excited, so that's why. And I always talk in English. I don't. Yeah, so that's all. It's my channel. That's why. But yeah, that said, Adamus Prime is right. It's time to get started. No. That's not true. Some people they probably may feel that immersing Japanese means speaking in Japanese, even if what you say is crap, like bad Japanese, and it's like, well, now you're just kind of reinforcing bad Japanese. Whereas if you're listening to Japanese, you misunderstand it. That can be fixed because hopefully, you see something in context like, wait, that's not matching what I understand. So that means you're going to fix that through context. Like, oh, there's different ways. Like if you say like, Ohayo gozaimasu, but it's in the afternoon, it's like, wait. Oh, it's like, oh, you can say that the first time you go into work, even if it's in the morning, even if it's in the afternoon. It's not always just good morning. Now, good morning, you always say in the morning. You never say good morning, or you can, but you don't say good morning in the afternoon. But you can say Ohayo gozaimasu in the afternoon for a reason. It's kind of like Otsukare-sama is, there are reasons to say. You never say Otsukare-sama if you're the one leaving. It's always the person. You always say it to the person leaving. Osaki ni, it's like, okay, I'm the one leaving. You don't say. There's certain things you say. Shitsurei shimasu. You can say that either to the person, if you're leaving, whatever it's going to be. It's just things you pick up through context that don't match up the way you kind of sort of learned it. But again, you learned it early on. It was trying to get into your head. Then they weren't trying to bog you down with all the particulars that it could be used. But that's why you want the high level of immersion. The amount, again, see it in both in context in real life if you have that opportunity. What normally is this? You're just going to see it on screen. Yeah, so that's immersion. Okay, I talked enough on that. Let's get started. And 5 people are viewing. Hey guys. All right, let's see. All right, here we are. So now, Fullmetal Alchemist. We're on episode 49. We're really okay. So we're about finished with the 4th season. We'll be moving into I think one more day. We'll be the next day I do one of these. I'll be the end of the 4th season. We'll be moving into the 5th. Cool. As I mentioned before, after I've done with Fullmetal Alchemist, I will be going on to Attack on Titan, finish up seasons 2 and 3, which is about 34 episodes. After Attack on Titan, I'm going to go back to live action dramas. I'm going to probably start off with Terrace House, Boys and Girls Next Door, which is like the first Terrace House. Just the first 2 seasons there. If that ends up being fun, I might do those in batches later on. But for right now, I'm just going to do those 2 seasons. And then some other live action stuff. I really want to do Hanzo and Naoki, Tiger and Dragon, Gene. Some of these good dramas that I like to have, that I just enjoyed the stories. And start getting that out. Okay, cool. So yeah, if I can remember, they were in the battle with Pride and Gluttony. Pride just consumed Gluttony, so now he's got his, and so stuff's coming up, and also the sun's rising, so Pride's going to have plenty of shadow, although he was surrounded by fire. So let's see how that's going to work out. And what's happening? You say, okay, the King Bradley is still missing, but he's alive. Obviously he can't be killed that easily with just a bomb. Come on. And there's some stuff going down in Central City. Basically, yeah, a bunch of shit is going down. Let's get started. And I screwed that up. These are indexed, so I could use these bars here.
復活のランファンとともにエドはホムンクルスプライドと戦う。苦戦を強いられる中、
Fierce battle or cruel battle? Tetsuya Tekiya. Okay, yeah, difficult battle. Okay. Desperate fight. Kusen. Kino. Is that a phrase? Come on. Ike o anjiru.
刑を案じ無事アルを取り返すことに成功するエド。だがプライドは仲間であるグラトニーを取り込み、その能力を手に入れる。一方マスタングはホークアイたちと合流。大総統夫人を誘拐し人質とするのだった。
Okay. 親子の親子のジョー。ジョー。親子のジョー。
ある、目を覚ませ。おいある、聞こえるか。
聞こえるか。
アルフォンス。
アルフォンス。
この匂い。エドワード・エルリック。
Oh, that's interesting. Soon. So I guess that's like a sniff. Is it saying that? Not seeing it. Okay.
君を捕まえればオーエンハイムも出てこざるを得ないでしょうね。
This fight is actually really good animation going on. I mean, they didn't cheap out. So that...
残念。グリードで。
貴様、若に体を返せ。
そいつはできない相談だ。来るぜ。
大丈夫か。
Yep, her arm's hurting. Good save.
余計なことするな。うるせえ。お前まだ腕が本調子じゃねえだろ。大きなお世話だ。今は自分自身のことだけに専念しろ。この先頼りにしてんだからよ。
Let's see, make sure, and then it's like a specialty, right? Fully understand. Concentration of the fight. Okay. Senden Shiro.
そのまま行け。
すまない、一目切れなかった。
へっ。
一目切り。Oh, okay. 切れなかった。Okay.
気にすんな。倒せなくてもしょうがねえ。俺から見てもありゃ化け物だ。
Okay. Oh, and height.
起きろ。アルフォンス。
アルフォンス。
あれ？父さん。
父さん。
よう。
父さんがいるってことは、ここはカナマ。
そうだ。
なんで僕、いつの間に。そうだ、プライド。父さん、ホムンクラスのプライドが僕の中に入って。
うん、すべてゴリウスさんに聞いたよ。
ダリウスだ。
ダリウス。
なんだか魂に干渉されたみたいで気持ち悪かったな。
やす。
What is it? 感情。他人のことを立ち会いたい。Okay. Take over. Overpowered. Intervention, interference. 干渉されてみたいだ。よー。
こちらは俺の分身のそのまた分身みたいなものだからな。息子であるお前の血印に干渉しやすいのかもしれん。
血印。It's the blood seal now. 血印干渉。Ah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, obviously the so basically kind of is based in part on his blood. Okay, makes sense.
藤井さん。
この者の手当てをよろしく頼む。
あちらの状況は？
お主がエドワードの父か？
そうだ。
影の化け物がグラトニーというのを食ってしまって手がつけられない。グリードとエドワードが応戦しているが。
What was it? That means helping each other in battle, right? 敵と攻撃に対して戦うこと。Responding to that. Okay, 応戦してる。
良い状況ではない。
Yeah, better not copy him.
僕のせいだ。僕がプライドに捕まったからみんなピンチに。
火事で光源がありすぎるし、閃光弾も使い果たした。もう同じ手は使えん。
まずいな。このままじゃスラムの住人たちも巻き込まれるぞ。
父さん。父さんはやり手の錬金術師でしょ。
やり手？Skilled at? Capable. Okay. やり手。
ああ、半端ないぞ。
半端？ Oh. Okay. 半端ないぞ。
父さんの腕前を見込んで頼みがある。
Let's see. Vinicius Uhara. What site do you watch? It's not a site. So the video is just the video I have. And the text is really it's just the text file that I ripped the subtitles via SubSRS. 半端ないぞ。
さて、だいぶ見晴らしが良くなりましたね。物陰に隠れても無駄ですよ。匂いでバレバレですから。
くっさい。おい、生きてっか。
なんとか。人の心配をしている場合ですか、グリード。君の方こそあとどれくらいで死にますかね。
化け物が。
兄弟に対して失礼な口を聞きますね、グリード。食べてもいいですか？
俺食ったら腹壊すぞ、兄ちゃん。
おや、やっと登場ですか、オーエンハイム。
ヒーローは遅れてやってくるものなんだよね。
ヒーローということは私を倒す気でいると。
Right. Yeah, for this one it's sometimes what I'll do for Netflix is I'll record it straight off of Netflix, which again that's fine because again it's just if you ever seen the US broadcast, right, it's perfectly fine to do recording something that is over broadcast. So again, it's called delayed viewing because that means they're not saying like, oh, we got to demand that you only watch this while you're connected online, And again, Netflix offers ways which you can download that way. Usually for mobile, but you can actually do that via online as well through a PC, through means.
いやー、無理無理。お前おっかないもんな。
おっかない。See what is that? おっかない。お、そろしくるい。おっかないもんな。What's happening here? He's got a plan.
何を考えている？何か狙っているのか？なんだ、つまらない作戦ですね。往生際の悪い。
往生際。 定規はない。いつ歌うのです。死に際。こいつ生まれて。定規はない。
わざわざ人質になりに戻ってくるとは。君の息子も物好きですね。
俺の息子をバカにするな。
That's kind of cool. I know it's probably like closed off in him. Maki soeru. Let me just make sure about that. Tanin no jiken. Okay, wrapped up in. Okay. Makaji ni makikomarete. Basically wrapped up in something bad as well. Involved in Kizoe.
考えてんだてめえ。
俺の考えじゃない。これはあるの提案だ。
うまくいった。これでお前の能力は使えない。
笑っている場合ですか。君とてここから出られない。もし出ようと一瞬でも隙間を開ければ影を使ってここ
から出る気なんて花からないよ。我慢比べしようじゃないか、セリム。いや、ホムンクルスのプライド。こっちは酸素も光も食べ物もなくて平気な体だ。今日一日、約束の日が終わるまで、お前はここで僕と一緒におとなしくしているんだ。
So no oxygen, no light, no food.
今のプライドを倒すのは困難だ。だがこのままだと周りの被害も大きくなる。ならば戦うのではなく自分をおとりに抑え込もうってな。
So that's a cage, or Otori is a cage, right? Not a trap. Kind of like both. Trying to remember how to write it. Otori. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, decoy. There we go. Okay. Otori.
これで我々も対策を立てる時間が稼げる。
だからって俺に相談もなく。
兄さんに言ったら絶対反対されるってさ。あいつなりに全員が生き残る方法を考えた結果なんだ。分かってやれ。さあ、まずこの火を消すぞ。
ごめんね、せっかく再会できたのに。でも今回はもともと僕が原因だったから。それに言ったって一日の辛抱なんだし。
一日辛抱。OK。辛抱なんだし。
大丈夫だよ、兄さん。
ラストはいない、エンビーもいない、グラトニーも消えた。 ラスは東の演習。プライドは動けなくなった。今セントラルにいるのは親父殿とスロースのみだ。
グリード、貴様何を考えている？
言ったろ、世界の王になるってよ。
Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist.
Kimberly's making a show. Okay.
なんだか最近セントラルにイシュバール人増えてきてるよな。
そうそう、西のハイビルあたりに結構集団でいるみたいだぜ。
It's a high view. Okay.
イシュバール人といや、以前ここにいたバッテンキーズのあんちゃん、どうしてっかな。
Back then. I know it's a scar guy, black mark. Dinkies.
ようバッテンギズのあんちゃん。
噂をすればなんとやらだ。
カナマというスラムを探しているのだが。
カナマなら町外れの南の方。
町外れの南の方。
森の中にあるよ。
そうか、すまない。
そういや、あの子はいないのかい？ほら、白黒猫を連れたあの女の子、ちょっと前にここに戻ってきてたんだけど。
なんだと？
あいつ国に帰ってなかったのか？
何やってんだ、まったく。
おお、あんちゃんだ、ついにやったな。
何のことだ？
あんちゃんたちだろ、東部でブラッドレーを列車ごと爆破したのは。
爆破？
あれ？違うのかい？
初耳だ。
いやー、
Hajime or Hatsumi? Hatsumiだ。Hatsumiだ。
きり他のイシュバール人たちと組んでやっちまったのかと思ったよ。まあ、奴らテロかますってもっぱらの噂だったからな。
さあ、テロかます。もっぱら噂だったから。
彼らはそんなことをするために集まったわけではない。テロ以外でこの国を変えようとしている大切な仲間だ。
ああ、キンベリー。Whoa, what is he doing? Jeez.
仕事熱心もほどほどにしなければなりませんね。
Good God, that guy's a maniac. 仕事熱心。Let's see, loving being, simply being, not pride in one's work, but putting full heart and full power into one's work. Let me guess. Let's see, no. 熱心。ほどにしなければなりません。
せっかく新調したスーツが汚れてしまった。夜が明けてからが本番だというのに。
無理だよ。父さんが子供の力でどうにかなる作りにしてるとは思えない。あんまり人間のことバカにするからこういう目に遭うんだ。
The thing is, though, he did consume gluttony, so you know, you think maybe he has sort of that whatever gluttony can do to essentially blast holes and stuff. So, you know, maybe. But I guess you're gonna allow where it says, okay, yeah, he just can't. He's trapped right now, so he's gonna need outside help. あんまり。
お前たちは僕ら人間のことは何も分かっちゃいない。何でも思い通りになると思わない方がいい。例の計画だって僕からしたらずさんそのものだ。
ずさん
ああ、人柱とか言って僕らを利用し。
Let's see. And saying thanks for your Anki deck guy from Discord. Join through. All right, cool. Hope it's working for you.
何かをしようとしてるみたいだけど、もし僕たちが自分の身可愛さに国外逃亡でもしたら、その
逃亡。Escape.
その時点でお前たちの計画はおじゃんだったんだ。
おじゃんだった。うん。じゃんだった。
確かに人間の中には自分さえ良ければという考えの者もいますね。けれども、そう例えばラースの妻、以前街中で私が車にひかれかけたことがあったのですが、その時あれは身を挺して私を助けようとしたのです。私がホムンクルスであることを知らないとはいえ、あの必死さには思わず面食らってしまいましたよ。
面食らって突然出来事を驚いて、面食らって surprised。 OK、 面食らってしまいました。
私には父上はいたけれど母というものは存在しませんでしたから、正直あれの存在は興味深かった。母親とはこういうものなのかと。
ラースの妻、ブラッドレー夫人のことだよね。
そうですよ。
あんないい人を騙すなんて。
確かに家族ごっこではありました。けれどあれとの生活は楽しかったですし、好きでしたよ。
じゃあ
人間にはラースの妻のように大事なものを守るためには己の命すら投げ出す者がいる。ましてや人柱として選ばれた君たちは。
ましてやましてや人柱とは。
その人間の中でもより強靭な心を持っています。この国を捨てて逃げられるはずがない。現に君はここへ戦いに戻ってきた。我々の計画にはずさんなどありえないのです。
ずさん。Make a blunder. Careless. Yeah. So, actually, let me look at that kanji as well. Let's see. Tree and dirt. That one. You would think it's something as simple as that, but okay, woods and groves. But okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I've forgotten about it, but it's not that common either. It's, it's within the. Okay. Cool. Okay, and then this one right here. Oh. Wait. Really? Huh. No, I don't know that one at all. Okay, then. I would have, if I had learned it, it would have been like 10 years ago, so definitely forgotten it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. It's not too difficult to memorize. Alright, let's keep going. Zuson. Nice. Okay.
大佐、そろそろ時間です。
ああ。行こうか。注意。
Shall we go, Lieutenant?
なんじゃこりゃ。
なんじゃこりゃ。
何があったんだ一体。それにこの山は
ジェルソに残波のじゃねえか。
ドリス貴様、キンブリーに言われて俺たちを始末しに来たのか。
何言ってんだ。キンブリーの部下なんざとっくにやめてるよ。
とか言って油断させて。
とっくに while back. Oh yeah, that's right. Just yeah, never mind. For a while now. やめてるよ。
俺たちを殺す気だろ。
なわけあるか。
信用できねえ。そこいらにハインケルが隠れてて襲ってんじゃないのか。
そう。
バカだと。エドワード君。
スカーも一緒だな。
このゴリラが言ったんだ。
着いた早々悪いけど早速打ち合わせを。
この豚もデブもゴリラも喧嘩すんな。
Oh, okay. They don't say anything about the lion, right? Wait, Kenka Tenaka? Let's see. Kenka. Let's see if that's a phrase. No.
なんだお前ら本当にキンブリーの部下辞めてきたのかよ。
あんな奴の下にいても使い捨てにされるの目に見えてるしな。
だよな。
That's where I think that's where you see like Kimberly and gluttony, or I'm sorry, greed, and Kimberly has some aspects that he would have been a very vicious greed, but greed with Lin, again someone who has aspirations but isn't doing it to the extent of anything else. So he's still going to have support of his the people that are going to work for him. So that's going to be again type of leader is going to be stronger because of the people that work with him. Whereas Kimberly, he discarded people left and right if they thought they were no use to him anymore. So fidelity is important.
まあおかげで日陰者の身にはなってしまったが。
No, where are we at? まあおかげで1835. Okay. 被害者。
気分はいいぞ。
だな。それに。あいつらは俺らを見捨てることはしないからな。日が昇ればついに始まるな。あ
あ、みんな無事生き延びられるといいが。
話がついたようだな。
じいさんはどこに行ったんだ。
街の様子を見に行った。
一人でか。
ああ、この中で敵に面が割れてないのは自分だけだから、その方がいろいろ都合がいいってさ。マスタング大佐の動きとかもいろいろ掴んできてくれるって言ってたけど、大方リンの行方が気になるんだろう。
大方。
ああ、なるほど。
スカーたちとの打ち合わせは終わったのか。
ああ、作戦は決まった。
そうか、いよいよだな。
大したもんだよ、お前の弟は。
暗闇であんな化け物と一緒だもんな。俺だったらどうにかなっちまってる。
アルが踏ん張ってくれてるんだもんな。
踏ん張って。踏ん張る。足に力を入れてたし。はい。ストン Race. Okay. Umbatte. Umbatte.
あとは俺たちが始まりだ。
The promised day. That's what I decided. All right, cool. Let's go 2153.
Oh, お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃん、レニーお兄ちゃんってば。
うるさいな。なんだよ。
早く起きて。出ないと始まっちゃうよ。
始まるって。何が？
日食。
日食？
あ
な、今何時だと思ってんだ？まだ日食が始まる時間じゃないぞ。おい、太陽見るなよ。目がつぶれんぞ。
知ってるよ、そのくらい。
Sadly, the U.S. has some people in charge that don't know that. You don't stare into the sun, especially with a telescope. But anyway, where are we at here? 2334.
兄ちゃん来て来て。街から煙が上がってる。
So here's the other assistant to that one lady. Yeah.
お前ら、今日外に出るなよ。
西区セディ隊 C75 地区にてマスタング組を発見。交戦中です。
Okay. So urban battle's about to go on. That's cool.
しかし、奴らは大総統夫人を人質にしており、こちらからはなかなか手を出しづらく。
構わん、攻撃しろ。ロイ・マスタングさえ生きていればよい。夫人には利用価値がない。奴の部下ともども消えてもらえ。
So I get the feeling Mustang is one of the planned Hitobashira, like become the fifth one that'll be the sacrifice, whatever that father is planning.
動くな。
Where are we at?
撃つかね。マスタング大佐以外は撃ってよし。
平和に浸りきった民衆は
Oh, peace kuttari. So that's submerged. Kuttari kita. So submerged in peace. Hittari. Let's see something. Okay. So heiwa ni hittari. Hittari kita.
目の前の危機に気づかない。
Okay.
訪れる破滅を想像できない。次回鋼の錬金術師フルメタルアルケミスト第50話セントラル動乱。
Upheaval. Okay. I mean, Dodan is like, okay, conflict or like a mob or there's been a rioting, right? That's also disturbance, quell, right? Yeah. Central Dodan.
弱き者は失い、強き者は蹂躙する。
Whoa. 弱き者は Okay. 蹂躙。 Jude. That's weird. It's not a very complicated. It's kind of like judo. I mean, that means there's gentle, so tender. Okay, trample on. Okay, so that's easy enough. Let's think of a judo move. Okay, and then what's it in? Trample also. Juding. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, it's easy enough. So that's the leg, that's the gate. There's turkey. So there's turkeys inside the gate. So you kick open the gate and stomp on the turkey. So that's easy enough. Trampling. Okay. Yeah. So Judy, and I get the feeling like that word Juding, you're probably only going to see these kanjis for that word. Something I kind of got a feeling about that as well. Sometimes you'll see that. Like the only time you'll see kanjis that they're using in a word, that one word. And that's it. So that kanji exists pretty much only for that one word. That's stupid. Let's not do that again. But I'm going to do it again, I'm sure.
それが戦争。
Oh, you don't point a gun at Olivier. Oh, don't do that. No one, if you enjoy living a long, peaceful life, don't point a gun at Olivier Armstrong. It's just not a good way to, to start your day. Okay. What are we doing on time here? 58 minutes. Started about 15 minutes into it. So yeah, okay. Thought it was a little faster than that, but maybe I was wrong. All right, cool. Let's get some more coffee in me. I don't think I was like talking too much about the story, so that was going. So I don't. Maybe about 5. But again, I think, like I've been mentioning, these episodes, even though they're kind of really dialogue dense, they are very dense with dialogue. Although this did have start off with a lot of action in the first half. But yeah, I've been noticing it's taking about 30 to 35 minutes to get through an episode if I just concentrate on trying to, comprehend. And you probably noticed if you're watching me is like I'm also trying to shadow a little bit, so I'm hearing and I'm reading and I'm trying to repeat what I'm hearing just for fun. I mean, it can get distracting, and I don't want that to distract me from following or comprehending what's being said and read. So that's why it's also important. So I don't always do it. So if it's a slow conversation, it's not an info dump, then yeah, I might try to do it. And I'm trying to do it more for if it's a older person talking, since I'm an older guy talking, then I'll try to talk like that. Obviously not Fuji, Oji-san, the father of Anfan, because again, he has a lot of these guys, again, you don't want to talk like any of these characters. You just want to know for the most part, especially some of their conversation quirks. But yeah, again, just the normal flow, except for, again, that just means you don't copy, you just don't say those particular things. But, again, the normal flow, majority of what they're saying is normal to say. So just, it's good practice. If for nothing else, getting the words out that sound in a natural way. Let me see that word again here. Hitari. 平和に浸りきた民衆は目の前の危険に気づかない。So yeah, people who just only known peace don't notice the danger, won't notice danger in front of them. So yeah, I think it's it's not necessarily denial, just not comprehension. Like you just don't comprehend the fully what's about to come down, and I'm guilty of that. Like I think I mentioned before, when that earthquake hit, I wasn't fully appreciating how. I mean, the next day it became obvious once you get the not just because of the nuclear issues that came about, but also again just the amount of destruction that happened with that earthquake and tsunami. So almost it's going to be 10 years next year. Be the 10-year anniversary of that. Yeah, and it's just I can understand now. Obviously, it's a slightly different in that there was no real danger where I was at, other than again the loss of power. So again, transportation was shut down. Mass transportation had an issue, so that was the main problem there. But yeah, there was. I can see that. You might not appreciate again, if you can't, if you're not aware that maybe there's this, well, you can be like set in the middle of a war zone, not even realize it, because it could just pop up right in front of you. That's one of the problems with urban combat that could happen, especially if there's a riot that's about to happen. You just don't realize that a riot is coming your way. You're just not aware because it's been so peaceful the whole time that you just think, oh, it's just an accident. The explosion you're hearing isn't an attack. It's just maybe some type of accident happened. So I can get that. And again, that's the benefit of peace, is that you want to live like that. You don't want to like live constantly thinking in the worry of dying. I mean, that is not a healthy way of living. Like you stop thinking about prospering, just think about just surviving day by day. That's true. And then also that's the reason why it's, again, like, you want to try to end poverty, so people are not concerned with just surviving day by day. Instead, they're maybe look for prospering, like becoming better, like look a week ahead or a month ahead or a year ahead. Start planning, making those type of plans, and that's just good for the type of the economy and also society in general. Yeah, so peace is a good thing. All right, think I talked enough about that. Let's get started with the next episode. This is episode 50, and yeah, so it's going to be combat. So I don't know how much is going to be audio, and how much is this going to be action set pieces. But let's find out. Oh, okay. All right, we're at 1 hour 3 minutes.
マスタング大佐以外は撃ってよし。撃ってよし。
It's supposed to be juice. Juice? Juice, yeah. It's supposed to be kudo, right? Kutsu. Kutsu.
マスタング大佐以外は撃ってよしってことは、夫人も撃っていいってことか。聞きたかった言葉ではあるが、
私は、いえ主人は国に捨てられたのですか。それとも主人が私を捨てたのですか。
わかりませんが、あなたの命は我々が必ずお守りします。
Well, here's the thing, like, it's not her husband didn't, because again, her husband missing, and I think Wrath would be willing to, he will sacrifice her, but not just like that. He would say, hey, protect her if you can. So, but again, just like, he won't negotiate with Dazi. He can't say, protect her if you can. But that wasn't part of the orders. It was say, hey, if they say protect her if you can, that's fine. Because again, when you're dealing with it's the same reason why you have to shut the door on someone if the compartment's flooding and the ship's gonna sink. You got to shut the door even if there are people behind. You have to sacrifice their life. You got to be the one to shut the door and make the call. You may have been ordered to do it, but someone's gonna take the responsibility. But again, the door's got to be shut. Right? You just don't have the time to save the people and save the ship. So that's it again. So like with this, if you've got a group of people that are waging rebellion, active rebellion, like actively attacking the city now, and someone as powerful as Mustang, then yeah, it kind of makes sense that, hey, we got to take them down. We can't let a hostage be the thing. That can't be a shield anymore, because then you end up, it's kind of like the whole, Batman said, I'm not going to kill anyone. I'm just going to throw him. But again, the characters that he never kills are killing hundreds after he's had the ability to stop them. So he's responsible for those hundreds. Now, obviously, that's a comic book thing, and reality was, if something can't be contained, then you will have to destroy it. But you're assuming like these things in Batman could have been contained in reality. And so, but again, in the movie, that's why they were being contained. That's why there was like peace for 10 years, and if you go with the Batman movies, and then but then they were released from Arkham later, so that was a different thing. But it was showing they could be contained. That's what prisons are for. So they've got no problem with that. But anyway, but during the middle of war, I can see like you can't just say, yes, you want to protect it all as much as possible, but not to the extent where you put more lives at risk for the sake of one. And for someone who's in a controlled decision, you have to make that horrible calculus. Again, it's just the code equation. It's just you know, if you've seen stories like that, it's like this mission cannot succeed if this person, if we're gonna sacrifice mission for this person, but again, the mission would save hundreds more. I'm sorry, you got to make the call. But what they did was a little different, and they made it to where it's like, say, we don't even want to try to save her at all. We don't care. That is not what the it's not the same. That is completely different. That's where you would actually destroy the city to kill one, just to save one, and that's not what you're trying to go for either. Okay, anyway, sorry about. I know I shouldn't be talking like this all the time. When I get into scenes like this, it just kind of, it's not exciting. I mean, it's just a way of looking at the theory as to what we're trying to accomplish. Like, that can get a little complicated, but it's one of the reasons why also not in this particular case, you don't want the military to take care of peace in the country. Military is good, you want it to be as for combat purposes, and then that's why it is a good idea to have what was called a civilian police force. But even civilian police force shouldn't be, because again, you've kind of noticed that sometimes it becomes an arm of the rich and powerful. So now it becomes a private army, which now that creates problems. So it's got to be, you can't just say, here, we're going to set something up and let go. You got to be vigilant in making sure that they are following their, what they originally set out to be, and they don't be corrupted into something that's dangerous to the people. All right. So anyway, let's keep going. Sorry for the segue. Where are we at? 220. Yeah, here we go.
すべてことが済んだ時に我々が間違っていなかったことを証明していただくためにも。
新手が来ます。急いで。
命拾いしたな。俺たちがブリックズ兵だったらお前は死んでいた。
何
？Whoa.
大佐、お久しぶりです。
ご苦労。グラマン中将は
列車事故の後始末を。大総統が行方不明の件は。
Goshimatsu from Otoshimatsu。
夫人には話していないのですか？
ああ。気絶でもされては移動が困難になる。
うじゃうじゃ来てますよ。
うじゃうじゃ。小虫などがたくさん。スワン。うじゃうじゃ。うじゃうじゃ。
モテモテですね、大佐。
まったくだ。
まだ片付かんのか。何をやっている。
片付かん。
まだか5人だぞ。敵勢力が増加。少なくとも1個正体はいる模様。
こちらの損害は
負傷59、死亡0です。
ゼロ。
Now that's also a good tactic, is especially if you got an army that actually cares for other, like you injure the enemy and then you let them take the wounded, right? Because now reason why you do that is in, okay, you kind of taking two people out of the fight. That's why it's, again, plus it's, give people a chance to, survive. You take them out of the combat, but again, they're removed. That's why you just don't want to kill them. Now there's the other one. If you ever seen like Fullmetal Jacket, where the wounded was used basically as otori, it's just a decoy, it's told, a trap, as well. So it depends on how you want to do it. But here also they want to make sure is that, when you're doing something like combat operations in a city, where again, what are you going to do after the battle is over? If you're killing wantonly, people are going to remember, oh yeah, you were kind of like wanting to kill us when you were trying to take over the city. They're not going to be too happy to follow your lead after the battle was over. So that's another good thing. And again, give the chance for the enemies to surrender. If you're not going to kill them, then they might be willing to retreat or surrender as well. So that's why if you're doing full on a a massacre where leave no survivors, then everyone's going to fight to the death. And we've experienced, if you ever remember World War II, that was experienced in the Pacific warfare as opposed to European war. European that opposing forces normally would surrender. In the Pacific theater, there was just very few surrenders. I mean, if you look at the numbers, especially from the Imperial Army of Japan, there's like the number of surrendered was just really, really, really low. But also at the same time, you probably didn't want to surrender Japan because, again, the treatment of prisoners was inhumane. I mean, to just put it lightly, it was like cruel, war crimes, cruel type thing. So and then again, they were told like don't surrender because this is probably like a cultural thing, but also if you tell them like, oh, you're going to get killed anyway. But again, if you encourage the enemy to surrender, it just makes things easier. It's just like, okay, look, you fought the good fight, live, and then try to make a better world of what comes after. Or it's just to die now you have no say in what in the world that comes after. And again, that had an impact on the development of Japanese society. If you've got like hundreds of thousands of soldiers and airmen and sailors from the Japanese imperial forces that didn't come back, so they had no help in the development. So that there was a change in the in the culture that came after that. I don't know if that's good or bad, but there is an impact on that. Whereas the majority of people from the U.S., we had 200,000 like casualties, not casualties, but like killed in action, 200 or 400,000, something like that. So a majority of people in the military came back, and then that had a change in how the U.S. society developed in the 50s and 60s. So it's just something to think about anyway. So let's keep going.
さあ大丈夫かなんとか炎の錬金術師ってあれだろ石丸戦でものすごかったってなんか意外と大したことないようなだよなさっきからしょぼい爆炎ばっかで
しょぼい
ジェスパーキーくそ鼓膜やられたそのよ
I know it's eardrum. Komaku? Yeah, Komaku.
負傷後死亡ゼロ死人が出なかったのはラッキーだ
See, right there, he's noticing as well. You win people, basically take out two for the price of one as well. So there's benefit there as well.
イシュバールの英雄に鷹の目もいるんだぞ
Wait a minute. AU. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Takanome. No. It's not Taco. No, it's Taka. No. These are all names. Goddamn. Taka. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Hawkeye. Taka no Me. Hawkeye. Okay.
死人が出ない方がおかしいまさか間違いない奴ら手を抜いているだとはい負傷者は多いですがここまで死者ゼロ狙撃された者も全て急所を外されていますなめよってディミトリ隊とキム隊も出せ
ディミトリ Oh, okay.
とっととマスタングの部下の死体をここに積み上げろまだマスタングは捕まらんのか何をやっとるんだクレミン准将は
クレミン Oh. Let's see, that's a brigadier general, right? Junsho. Yeah, brigadier general. Junsho. Kuremin Junsho.
奴らはこちらの兵を殺さずに戦力だけ削いでいるとかそんな器用な真似が続くわけなかろう
マスタング大佐も甘いですな
まったくだ
何を考えているのか。
それを倒せぬ中央軍も甘ったるいことこの上ない。まるで子供の遊びです。
なんだと。
聞けば以前にもたった一人の反逆者に司令部を氷漬けにされかかったとか。
氷漬けされるされかかったとか。
そもそも建国以来セントラルは大きな敵に攻められたことがない。この経験のなさこそが弱点。
なさこそ、ないこそ。
攻撃はうまくても防御がど下手。どうです？中央軍を少し私に預けてみませんか？
調子に乗るなよ、アームストロング。自分が実力でこの場にいると思っているのか？貴様はここに拘束されているだけだ。ブリッグズ兵と貴様のつながりが強いのは知っている。それゆえに貴様がここにいることがブリッグズ兵に反抗させないための強力な風となる。
あなた方は
生徒なる。
我々の何も分かっちゃいない。奴らには有事の際には私を見捨てろと言い含めてある。ブリッグズの掟は弱肉強食。たとえ私がここでくたばったとしても。
Make sure that's okite. I know that's a statement or that's a philosophy, but yeah, okite.
それは私が弱かっただけのこととして切り捨て、ひるまず動くことのできる集団。それがブリッグズ兵だ。上っ面で私が育てた兵を語るな。
上っ面で
西区工場地帯でマスタング大佐が交戦中。多くの兵がそちらに割かれている。出るぞ、この穴蔵ともおさらばだ。
Just the escape hole. Cellar. Okay. 穴蔵。出るぞ。
セントラルの腰抜けどもの。喉上に噛みついてやれ。
See if that's a one part.
ほら来たぞ。ブリッグズ山の巨大熊とためを張れる猛者どもだ。あなた方自慢の人形とどちらが強いかな。
新勢力？バカな、どこから湧いた？
Wait, wait, wait. Okay, where are they coming from?
街の中から突然そんな魔法みたいなことがあるか。お前たちも行け。
敵の数は不明です。ですが装備から見るに北の兵ではないかと。
ブリックスか。
アームストロング家の中。
ああ、屋敷の修理に紛れて兵と武器を地下に運び入れていた。
See, I know that's hide or let's see, yeah, magi, magirete.
どんだけでかいんですか、その家。
チャリ
It is a big place, yeah.
玉くれ。
すまんがこっちも玉切れだ。
参ったな。補給部隊はまだ来ねえのか。
Should be reinforcements, right? Reserve forces. Hokyubu, Supply Corps. Okay.
まさか捕まったんじゃ。
お前たち、もしもの時は私を置いて逃げろよ。
了解。
そこは最後までお供しますじゃないのかね。
男と心中なんて真っ平です。
家で神さんが待ってるしな。
Mapira, mapira.
ああ、そうかい。
いや、やつら銃による反撃がほとんどなくなってきました。そろそろ玉切れでしょう。
よし、畳み込むぞ。
Tamagire? Oh, running out of bullets. So.
残ってる奴らを集めろ。
Tamikomu. That means round? Maybe like
やっほいリザ。
oh, there.
レベッカ遅刻よ。悪い悪い。そんなお待ちかねのあなたたちに素敵なプレゼント。
すげえ。
玉だけじゃなくてこんなもんまで。いいぞ。俺ベッカ愛してる。
うっさい。金のない男は私を口説くな。
Let's see. Kudoku? Yeah, Kudoku. Not Tokusatsu. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, yeah, Kudoku.
どうぞ。
すまない。
お久しぶりです、マスタング大佐。
マリア・ロス少尉、ただいま勝手に帰還しました。
なんであいつら突っ込んでこないの？
こっちに炎の錬金術師がいるからうかつに近づけないんです。でも大佐も街中だから派手に炎を出せなくて。
あらまあ、セントラルのいい男捕まえに来たのに腰抜けばっかりな。
Coward, right? Oh. Can't stand weak need, yeah.
真の国の催涙弾よ。
Okay. Oh yeah, the mustard gas. Let's see how to say it. Sairuidan. Sairuidan. Togarashi. mustard gas. Togarashi. Oh yeah. Increased. Zoyu. Zoyo.
唐辛子増量。
もしかしてこれ全部芯で仕入れたのか。
君が作戦に加わっているとは聞いていなかった。これほど大量の武器を君一人で調達したのか、それとも誰かの指示で。
調達。Supply or give procurement. Okay. 調達したのか。
話しますか、本人と。
オッケーです。
どうぞ。
真のお偉いさんか。国軍大佐ロイ・マスタングです。この度は誠に
かしこまっちゃってまあ。いつもの調子で行きましょうよ大佐。愛されて80年、パンツのゴムから装甲車まで。電話一本でいつでもどこでもお届け参上。あなたの街のハーボック雑貨店。ハーボックでお支払いが
出世払いだ。
出世払い。
つけとけ。
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
街に煙が上がっているぞ。かすかに警報も聞こえる。
大佐とブリッグズの連中が動き出したみたいだな。今頃セントラルは大混乱だ。そろそろ行くか。
ああ、国土連星人のカウンターは仕込んであるが。
仕込んで。
元から発動させないに越したことはない。あいつは所詮フラスコの中身がでかくなっただけだ。入れ物を壊せば死ぬだろう。あいつの中に縛られている人々の魂も解放してあげられる。
That's a good plan there. That's yeah. Now that's probably will kill him. I mean, but you don't know if like is he like does he become mortal or does he just die? Like essentially, does he start like basically become mortal from that point once all those spirits are released from him, or he kind of like basically just dies away, kind of like what happened to Lust. Although she was constantly being killed. So.
けどどうやってそいつのとこまで行くんだ。
以前メイと共に入った地下道を使う。凶悪なキメラが山ほどいるが、このメンツならいけるだろう。
ハインケルは留守を頼む。
ああ、すまんな。
気にするな。マルゴーさんは軍の連中に見つかんなよ。
ヨキ、お前も留守番してろ。
喜んで。
Alright.
ある。
何兄さん。
ちょっくら行って地下のヒゲ野郎ぶっ飛ばしてくるから。
ちょっくら短い時間。ちょっくら行って。OK。
気をつけてね。
おう。
Hey.
何やら街が騒がしいですね。
急いだ方がいいよ。もうすぐお父様が見せてくれるはずだ。不老不死の秘密をね。
分かってます。
ここに非常線を張る。
Emergency line.
マスタング隊もブリッグス兵も一歩も通すな。
すぐに兵を引き上げさせる。
ブリッグズの指揮権を私から奪ったのはそっちだろう。
貴様、ただで済むと思っているのか。
そちらこそただで済むと思っているのか。お父様とやらに聞いているのだろう。何を犠牲にして何を得ようとしているのか。
ああ、聞いているとも。我ら選ばれた者たちがさらなる高みへ登り、このアメストリスが世界を変える。変化するために痛みを伴うのは仕方のないことだ。それがなぜわからぬ。
もうダメだな、貴様らは。
何？
That's the second time she's done that to the guy. I like it. That was a good catch too. That was. If they did that in live action, that would look pretty cool. You know, that's like John Wick style stuff.
ぬくぬくと安全地帯から戦場を眺める貴様らのようなものが。
ぬくぬくと、体の中まで。Oh, look. So, basically from the warm climates.
痛みとかいうものをさも崇高であるかのように仕立て上げ利用する。
So cool. 聞いたかい、聞いたかい。仕立て上げ、仕立て上げ、作り上げる。
反逆者になる気か。
どうかな。ことが終わった時には英雄になっているかもしれんぞ。ただし私はイシュバールの英雄ほど甘ったるくはない。待て。
Whoa!
何？
So, yeah, she doesn't have it. I guess she forgot to talk to my thing about the no casualty thing. No, it's okay. The generals are willing to like basically sacrifice the people of the entire country and other countries as well. Yeah, I think if they weren't allowed to live live another day, I'm not going to shed a tear.
アームストロング少佐。ブロッシュ軍曹。
Where are we at here? Uroshu. Uroshu. Uroshu? Uroshu. I don't know. Maybe Brosh. Brosh.
今日は休みではなかったか。
Yeah, Gunso. So that's like Sergeant. So that's Sergeant Rush. Rush, I think. Brosh. Sergeant Brosh.
家から煙が見えたので。何があったんですか？
マスタング大佐とその元部下たちが大総統夫人を人質にとって市内を逃走中だ。
は
あ？ Oh, evacuation, right? So.
己卑怯な。
己？Yeah.
無実のロッショイを殺しておいて、今度は夫人を、人の皮をかぶった悪魔め。
That's right. He thinks that Mustang is killed her. Okay. Well, he's gonna not feel silly because again, it was like people had to believe that she's dead. Well, Armstrong knows better, right?
そうさ。司令部会議室でアームストロング少将がガードナー中将を射殺。
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Killed the Lieutenant General Gardner.
想像より早くことが進んでおるな。早く若を探さねば。とはいえ、気配で追うにも地下の巨大な木の流れが邪魔で。はて、先日よりも地下の気配が広がっておるような。
Huh, okay. It's the SOS.
ダメだこりゃ。ちょうど軍の集合場所になってて近づけそうにない。
強行突破するにはちょっと厳しいな。
強行突破するに
あるぞ。他にも入り口が。第三研究所だ。前にアルト大佐が侵入してホムンクルスと戦ってる。
入り口の警備は3人だな。どれ一丁やるか。
いや、こういう時こそ俺の肩書きの使いどころだろ。
Basically, he's going to use his rank, Katagaki. That's his name tag, or his job. Katagaki. Title.
ケンペイさん。国家錬金術師のエドワード・エルリックです。
国家錬金術師と
助けてください。スカイに追われてるんです。
指名手配の男だ。動くな。
打撃。
お前ひどいね。
おっせえ、行くぞ。
I like how quickly you just love the Hohenheim so much. And you know why he had to be serious because of again, it was a serious situation, but yeah.
はい、ちょっとごめんよ。
I like how sometimes this is happening in that building, like just this random groups of people over the weeks or months or whatever, or actually, had shown up now and again, just walk through and said, okay, they own the place.
確かこの辺りにあった。 二手に分かれるか。
Which way? 二手二手。Oh, okay. 二手に分ける。
だな。俺はこっち。エドワードとスカーはそっちな。
なんで俺がこいつと。
連星の力配分で言ったらこうだろう。
配分。連星の力配分だ。
それにあいつが錬金術封じの技を使った時、スカーは使えたけどお前は無力だったんだろう。
じゃあこいつらセットで決まりな。他はどうする？
俺は規格外だから一人で大丈夫だ。
規格外。
だがまあせっかくだから真のお嬢さんにボディーガードになってもらおうか。
Fair enough.
それじゃああいつを見つけたら全力で壊す方向で。
了解。本当に二人だけで大丈夫か？
大丈夫大丈夫。おっさんは若い娘さんと二人だけの方が嬉しいの。
スケベ親父め。
行こう行こう。
スケベ親父。行こう行こう。
君、真の王子を探さなきゃいけないんだろう。行きなさい。
いや、しかし
我々のことは気にするな。大事な人なんだろう。
ありがとうございます。
まったく情けない連中だ。ブリッグズの山猿どもに手も足も出んとは。
お待ちください。複数体の魂の定着実験はまだ。
定着定見 haven't put into actual practice. No, let's make sure about that. 定着 is okay. 定着 okay, fixing of the spirits and actual fixing. They've only
黙れ。今使わんでいつ使う。こういう時のために散々作った賢者の一種ではないか。さあ動け。反逆者どもを食らい尽くせ。
You know this is not going to end well for him. It never ends well. Man, that's like a... I'm thinking of the scene from Evangelion, the movie part where the 9 of the mindless ones, the pilotless Evangelion showed up. Okay, that's nightmare fuel. Also, I'm thinking is there's a movie called The Immortals, like the Greek gods, but the ones that were captured, they were the great. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. Wow, God, I feel stupid because I'm drawing a blank on the name for the, it's just the group that came before the gods, but okay. The ones that were working for not the Titans, it was the Titans. Okay, 249, 2349.
かつて人に宿りし魂が今人形に宿り闊歩する。姿形は異形なれどもその魂はまさしく人間。
まさしく。
次回鋼の錬金術師フルメタルアルケミスト第51話不死の軍団。
不死の軍団。
倒すべきか倒さざるべきか。
Oh, she's gonna take on Sloth. Ooh. 倒ざるべき。倒ざる。Cool. All right, so that's hour 49. So starting at about 45. Okay, so yeah, about 40 minutes or so. Although it did do it, I was actually talking about 5 minutes or so in between that about certain things, mainly about combat operations and yeah, about the earthquake and whatnot, some stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. Again, these are. Look, I keep saying it now. Like again, this is a damn good series. I mean, I would love to see this done right as a live action. I would love it. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be great if it could. And I know it's been done as a Japanese movie. Again, movies in Japan, obviously they've got plenty of Japanese actors, so Japanese actors play all the parts. It just looks kind of weird when you see it like that, even though you're used to the cartoon where it's again Japanese voice actors. But I do feel like it would be better if this was set in Russia using Russian actors and Chinese and basically actors from all over Asia, playing parts and just do it in that way. That would be cool. Although that will never happen. I think just because of production would just again when things are getting produced in good quality, high quality. You usually see it in U.S. or Europe, but now again also with technology the way it is, you could have again live action quality. High quality live action effects that a movie like this would require, and done, in a place. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood production at all, and it can still be done quite well. But for that, I would also hope it'd be done as a series, and that would be great. Just again, it's not gonna happen. It'd be great to see it. Mandino saying greetings. Hey, Mandino. So yeah, like I said, this is a let's read and just just do it. So I like to say is like, don't do what I'm doing, which is, I kind of do this sporadically. I've been a bit more consistent last few days, but yeah, again, just part of the thing to getting better in Japanese. And again, we already know the process. So there's the structured study part. That thing, I think the structured study is pretty well down pat. That is solved. Even the listening immersion is kind of solved, where get what audio you need to listen to for the background gameplay. So you don't live in Japan, but how do you make sure you're always being surrounded by Japanese? Again, that's background audio, so that's background immersion. And that's just making sure something's playing all the time. Or you can even have your stuff on your TV screen play on loop, where you're not thinking about it, it's just playing all the time. That doesn't mean you're sitting down, concentrating on it, but it's just always there. Especially if you're in one of the situations like a working adult, where you can't be concentrating only on Japanese stuff. You got to treat it like a serious hobby. So how do you do that? But anyway, I think that's solved. And even this right here, what you see me doing, it's kind of solved in that it's just a matter of, once you get up to about 2,000 words, I think that's when you start doing immersion, like reading immersion, of active immersion is what I call it. You can start when you're at the 2,000 word mark. And then, again, all you've done is split your study time. So do full study to get to that 2,000, 2,500 word mark and 1,000 kanji. So that now reading, you can start reading seriously and not fight every freaking word. It's like, again, you can get comprehension through the reading and with some few lookups. Do that. And then, of course, you read the audio, so make sure that you're hearing the way it should be pronounced. So, and there are some other benefits that you can take that audio and then it becomes put into your background immersion loop. You can get some benefits there. Just watch it for fun. Passively watch it for enjoyment, as opposed to like looking up what you don't know, and you'll find that that's good. But again, just full study time, active study to a certain point, then split it off between half of it's active immersion, the other half is active study. And then go on from there. And I think you'll find out. And then later on, you may want to be putting more time toward active study or active immersion, where maybe you want to instead of like reading for an hour a day, it's active reading or active immersion for an hour a day. It's maybe 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day. It can be tiring because sometimes you just want to sit down and just watch it, and that's the passive immersion where you're just watching it for fun. But you're not distracted or anything. You're just watching it. The active part is when you look up stuff you don't know. That's when it switches between passive and active, in my definition of the matters. For some people, for passive, it means it's playing whether you pay attention to it or not. I don't kind of like that. That's background immersion. Background immersion means it's playing. If you pay attention to it, it becomes passive. Otherwise, it's there. So that might be if you're at work or you're exercising or something. Then that's background immersion. And sometimes you can pay attention to it, sometimes you can't. And then passive immersion becomes active whenever you start looking up stuff you don't know. All right, but if you're not looking up stuff you don't know, you're just basically just paying attention to the story, then that's passive immersion, but it's fun. And then the active is, of course, again, taking time to figure out what the hell it is, the stuff, trying to understand it at the highest comprehension as possible through lookups in some way. Even if that's like just asking the person next to you or asking the teacher, hey, what does this mean? That's active. It's an active role to increase your knowledge in the language through the entertainment media you're consuming. All right, and then of course active studies is basically the same thing as active immersion. But it's just like you're just learning structured material. And again, with Japanese, thankfully, Japanese is a very easy. All the material's been gathered. Jesus, we got 5 books of 10,000 words and some 6,000 or so sentences. All of it with native audio. Cool. There's book series for structured grammar, so you can kind of have an understanding when you see some of the stuff that, oh yeah, here's the grammatical function of this when it's used in a sentence, so you can kind of get familiarity there, right? There's that. There's kanji, so we've got that structure. We can even get you to where you can memorize kanji because we've broken it down into primitives to make it easier to like think of kanji individually. Like that one where it's like finger. I'm trying to remember. That was like trampling, right? So that was so it's the leg with, I'm trying to remember. So there's one with the leg, the gates, and the turkey. So that's like trampling there, and the other one was the trying to remember. Actually, I forgot the other kanji. So okay, maybe that was a bad example. But there's certain kanjis that I've seen that just I can memorize a kanji. So it's finger, the snake thing, and then underneath that was tomo, and then trying to remember what that was for. Sin, I think it was sin for something, but it's just that, again, you treat kanji in a way to where you memorize that, and that helps you memorize vocabulary. Again, that's all the structured stuff, and it's easy. It's easy. The method is easy. It's the time. It's the time you don't have. And for a working adult, time is a limited resource. I'm not really a working adult, so I'm a different example. But there was a time I was a working adult, and so I treated it as a hobby. But I was still treating it in a way to where I was got a pretty good. I was getting a pretty good pace in obtaining it. Now I was fucking up on a lot of shit. So if I could start back from scratch from 10, 12 years ago, I'm pretty sure I would have done much better. Thing is, though, a lot of stuff that would have been great back then didn't exist as well. Like the core 2K, 6K, the core series from Mino, that didn't exist till 2008. The sentences that are in written form, like Take Him, there wasn't an Anki deck. Anki didn't exist till 2007. The 2006 is when the website for Kohi came about, so learning kanji was kind of difficult. Like you basically had to do brute force methods as opposed to the more component method. And even then, we're like some people are like treating kanji as this necessary thing that was like, if you didn't know kanji, you weren't literate. It's like no, you got to learn kanji to help you learn words, and without knowing words or grammar, you were illiterate. So it was like, but it was a piece of the, it was a part of the whole. It wasn't just the only thing. Some people, but again, this was the stuff that got developed over time. And again, in the last 10 to 15 years, is when a lot of this started coming about. That's when learning languages as a hobby becomes easier and easier. And fun, and it could be happening, and you can get to a degree where you're not struggling, like you are like at a native level fluency. Now, native level fluency, that means you sound like a native. It just means you can comprehend it a native. Like when you hear something, you can comprehend it just like a native can. Doesn't mean you can speak like you're gonna sound like you're gonna be a native, but when you speak, at least it can be understood and it's native-like. I accidentally hit the record button. How do I stop? There's a record button. Okay. There's a record button. Yeah. But yeah, it's doable, and just have fun. It's really don't know how much more I can say about other than that. All right, so this was episode 50. There are 14 more episodes to go, so that's about 7 more these days of these particular things. Now, if I do it day by day, that'll be the next week I'll be done. Again, after that, I'll be going back into Attack on Titan, and there's about 34 episodes there to go. So that's 17 days if I inconsistent. So I'm pretty sure the next season 4 of Attack on Titan is going to start before I'm finished with season 3, and that's fine because I'll still be watching season 4. But I think it's going to be fun just to kind of get into that show and be of that fresh mindset of where I've actually read or watched Attack on Titan fully in Japanese, because I do consume it in English quite frequently. Mainly just because I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of reading manga in Japanese. That's just me. I have done it. It's just that I don't find it enjoyable. I do like the ability to look up stuff real quick with a pop-up dictionary. And I know tools exist what are called OCRs, optical character recognition programs that can take a scan of a manga and actually you can actually make out the Japanese text, and then you can do a lookup with that way. I know you can do that. Okay. Let's see, Dr. Molo. My laptop has a record button. Suggest trying to internet harder and harder sentences. Even if you understand what you're saying, you make a lot of comprehension. Yeah. Oh, interpret. Yeah. And it's just fun. And again, some people, if just have fun. And pick what you want to use. Like I said, because I'm doing it slightly different than other people. If you look on the Let's Learn Japanese Discord, again, links down below. The Let's Go Japanese Discord, you got a number of people who are doing it in their own way. You've got Otaku Dave, Navy Dave. He is being consistent, and so he's learned 10 new words a day. He's been doing that for 2 years, so his comprehension level is at a very high degree. And he also has done some output practicing, so he's been practicing about once a week or once every other week with the tutoring. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes, because I do believe for output it helps to have a native tutor there to go over. And my recommendation is work on a intro. Work on an intro that can go up to a half hour to an hour, and work on it from like 1 minute to 5 minutes of that intro, where it's written down and you're learning to be able to say it into a camera to the person without looking at your notes. Just kind of like saying, you might have instead of notes like the full speech, just have it as a bullet points, which is what you should be doing for public speaking. And when that becomes familiar, then what will happen, and I know this from experience, is you'll lean on that in regular conversation, since you've been familiar with this 1 hour of introduction about yourself, of whatever things like where you're from, what you've done for study, what you've done for learning Japanese, what you're doing now. Because that's a self-introduction, you talk about that when you're talking to people about yourself. You can then go back to that 1 hour of self-introduction, and in those are sentences that you're gonna draw out of and then talk about as well. And yeah, that happens, and it's completely normal. You'll find that that's like again, that area of talking about that becomes easier, so you become easier to talk, and you feel like you're engaging in conversation than when you are doing that with another person. Yeah, so, and that's why it's better if you try that with a native tutor, to get that in it. I think I've heard that from when I read people who are saying they gotten good at speaking. It feels like they don't mention too much, but they occasionally drop that, yeah, they have worked with natives especially when it came to conversation, and I do think that's important. But it's like you don't have to do that from the beginning. Get the basics that you can do on your own. The part that you don't need to pay $20 an hour, $10 an hour to someone to teach you something you can teach yourself. You don't need that. But when it comes to output, you want that native there, because you're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes. You want that native there to correct the mistakes or help you, again, smooth out what you make something is like, now let's get this into what I wanted to say in Japanese in a natural way, and then practice on saying it out loud. And I think you're going to find that's cool. And I've done that as a English teacher for people who, again, I've had students, adult students, or even young students that are, fluent in English. I mean, they're fluent. So we work on stuff that is about English, not teaching English, but using stuff in English. I think I've mentioned that before. That's where you get to a point where you use Japanese to learn stuff. So you're not learning Japanese, you already knew Japanese. Now you're learning how to use Japanese. Now you're using Japanese to learn stuff, and then you still get better in Japanese because of that. Like if you're studying finances, or like I said, or when you're watching a show, really what you're doing is you're trying to use Japanese to enjoy a show. So in order to enjoy it, you look up words you don't know. Now, in the process, you do learn Japanese words. But again, you're not doing it to learn Japanese, you're doing it to enjoy the show. Like what was happening with here. If you ever want to know what hostage is, Hitoshi or something, Hitoshi, something like that. Yeah, I don't have that as a card, but I kind of now know it because it's showing up. Hitobashi, if you want to know like human sacrifice or this human, yeah, there. Because it's popped up here. It's just, I haven't added it to an Anki card. I learned the word because it makes enjoying the anime easier. So yeah, but it could also just be if you're taking a class in college, or if you're doing a job, or you're following along with your favorite YouTuber. They happen to have whatever, they're doing something. Like I was watching YouTube channel last night, and it was like the virtual reality YouTubers, but they were just going through a game. I think one was doing Alex, and I forgot what the other game that was happening. But yeah, and what was cool is like it was two people, so they were talking to each other about what they were seeing. So it was a lot better than I've seen some podcasts where it's just one person playing the game, and it feels more like they're talking to the audience as opposed to talking to each other. I don't know. It felt maybe it's more harder to follow. I could be wrong. I don't watch podcasts all that, or these live streams all that much. But the little bit I did watch it, it was kind of enjoyable because it was about a game I'm interested in getting, which is Half-Life Alyx. And yeah, and here's they'd see something, they'd say it, and it's like, okay, cool. You're seeing something on screen, and then they're talking about what they're seeing on screen. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got context, and they're direct context. It's not abstract concept or context of where they're talking about something that has something to do with what you're seeing on screen. Okay, I've talked too much about that. This has been fun. Yeah. I am so fucking slacking on Anki, but I need to catch back up on Anki. I keep saying that, and I haven't, but yeah, I need to catch up on my reviews in Anki and then start adding in some more words. I do need to start doing that again. And I'm going to do it in a slightly different pattern. What I was doing was going in the order of what I've done Let's Reads. Now I'm going to do is like whichever Let's Read has the highest comprehension rate, I'm going to use that episode to learn words from there. And then basically, since it's most likely have higher I don't know, maybe a better comprehension. And usually it's because it's from a live action or an anime as opposed to a book. I could be wrong, but I'm going to try it out as an experiment, see how that goes. And because I get the feeling now I'm going to be consuming more than I'd be able to ever study. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to study like 30 books like the way I'm doing now. So instead I'll just pick, read as much as I want, consume as much as possible, and then from that, pick the one that's most comprehensible, and then learn 100 words from that series. And it's always from a series of about 200 pages worth of text, 200 to 300 pages worth of text. So from those let's say 250 pages, there's going to be 100 sentences that I'm going to draw from. That's all. And I'm sure in the 250 pages, there are plenty of sentences I don't know. So I can pick the cream of the crop. I can choose, make my choice pick the litter, and then go on to the next one, which is again, from there, gather 100. And actually it's from 100 from that book, or all the previous, let's say 10 or 11 or 12 books that I've already added into Anki, for the Morphman series. So that's how that works. But most of it comes from the new book, because again, they're going to look for something that's a very common word among all the books, not a common word just in that one book. Let's see, Dr. Mo, kind of jelly of Otaka Dave's game. I'm probably a beginner in 3 reading now after 11 months. Oh well, yeah, he's definitely disciplined. And again, he started off enlisted, became an officer. He's in the intelligence community. So basically it means you're working in a cave. You can't bring electronic devices into that room, into that area of the building type thing, skiff. But anyway, he's disciplined, doing it every day, and he's doing the stuff for fun. Every night when he has a chance, he watches anime with his wife. He and his wife enjoy watching anime, and his wife didn't care about watching stuff, didn't care about learning Japanese to watch anime, so she was watching it with English subtitles, and he'd watch it and avoid reading the English subtitles and just follow with the show. And so he's doing that consistently. Now, recently, and that's kind of cool to hear, is that his wife is now interested in learning Japanese. So now they have something to work with together on, for her studying it and him. And then maybe it'll get to where they're watching it, but without the English subtitles at all. So then maybe add in the Japanese subtitles, and maybe that can be fun. Or again, they're doing something for fun together. Which again, I do that with my wife, where we try to at night, because she comes home from work, and so at night during dinner and a little after, we're watching Japanese TV together. All right, and I like that, especially for high-level dramas. Simple slice of life is easier to follow, but high-level dramas we can watch together, and that's fun. If you want to do it on yourself, do it by yourself. That works out just as well. Just using Japanese for fun, or using Japanese to learn something, and that's kind of a cool place to be at. And to get there though, there's just that tipping point. Again, what I'm saying is like roughly about 1,000 kanji, 2,500 words, and we've got that for you. And it's close to free. You got to buy the couple of $1,200 books to get to get the decks if you want to. Although again, I'm not stupid. I know they're available. You can find them elsewhere. They're not hidden. But again, not through the decks I made weren't leaked. It was these are decks that were made by other people, but they're decks based on the book. So that's all. Just that the decks I have, I do share with people who buy the book, and for the most part, there's also something kind of cool by having the book, flipping through it, because it is a nice book. Like here's the N2 book right there. I haven't actually deleted my Anki deck for this one. For reasons, but the deck's still shared, so I've got that. In fact, I had this book out because I was fixing an error someone said numbers 233 and 234. Shishoku and Shichaku. Shishoku and Shichaku. So Shishoku means test, like a taste test, and then Shichaku is like putting on something, testing out clothing. Shichaku. For example, in that case, but yeah, just the material's there. You get it. You need to start using language for fun stuff, and fun stuff doesn't mean if learning is fun, then that counts. If doing a job in Japanese is fun, that counts. It's just because that's the main purpose you're using the language, is to use it for something. And if it's in the most obvious use is going to be entertainment, watching shows in Japanese, and I've never seen Fullmetal Alchemist in English. I have never watched, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood in English, either with English subtitles or with the English dub. I just haven't. And it sounds weird when the audio sometimes flips over accidentally. It sounds weird when I hear it in English. And I don't know. I mean, some of these are really good translations, so it would be just as enjoyable in English. I'm having fun watching this stuff in Japanese. And usually it's live action dramas, and I don't care about Japanese movies, the theatrical movies. I haven't found most of those enjoyable. Most anime is not enjoyable. A lot of dramas are not enjoyable. What I do is I find the stuff that is enjoyable and enjoy those, and I'm doing it in Japanese, and in that process I get better at Japanese. Yeah, so I'm just fucking shitty at it because I'm not doing it to the level that would, I'm not being consistent on learning words every day. If I did like Navy Dave and was over the last 2 years, I'd be, definitely 6,000 or so more vocabulary words higher, plus the amount of reading I'm doing. I would probably be at native level fluency in that, but I wasn't consistent. I'm inconsistent. But that's fine. And that just means the method works, and it works. It's a very good method for if you're treating it as a hobby or if you want to treat it seriously, because all it's doing is a matter of how many hours a day. It switches from being more hobby-like into more, hey, just a neat, way of living. Okay. I'm talking way too much about this. Thank you all very much. I'm going to end it here. So anyway, thank you all very much. It's been Nuke Marine. This has been Let's Read Japanese. So just as an outro, you can like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support the Let's Learn Japanese project, the links to be a patron for the Patreon are down below. Also, if you want to hire me as for tutoring purposes, not really to teach Japanese, but to learn how to use the programs or some of this other material I've got to learn Japanese on your own. So basically the technical assistance. Again, you can do that via the Patreon. So the prices for the hourly prices are listed there as well. And yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with episodes 51 and 52. So that's the end. I think that should be like close to the end of the fourth season. Yeah, I think it's either 51 or episode 51 or 52 is the fourth season finale. And then it'll switch over to the fifth season. And usually it isn't like a very drastic change. I mean, it's basically a continuation of the story. The story continues. There's no break. You only notice there is a difference because of the intro and outro music and video. Cool. It's a damn good story. So I'm going to finish it up, and I'm going to have fun doing it. And then, again, I'll have fun when it comes to Attack on Titan, have fun doing it. Yeah. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you when I see you. Probably tomorrow, though. All right. Thanks for watching. Although I got to be careful because I've got to do a haircut tomorrow around 12. So if I do a broadcast tomorrow, it'll either be later in the afternoon or early in the morning, one of the two, for Japanese time. So thanks for watching. All right, later, guys. Woohoo!